Hello, I'm Kelly Ryan, and I'm CEO of Incourage Community Foundation, and I'd like to welcome you to this month's edition of Are You In?, our public access TV show. This month's show highlights a partnership with a research group in Madison called COWS. COWS stands for the Center on Wisconsin Strategy, and they are located and part of the UW-Madison campus. And their work with us has been to look at indicators and data and do some research for us about the state of the union, if you will, in Southwood County. And that research is presented to the community in the form of a report that we call Vital Signs. In addition to the data that COWS provides, it's important to note and to look at the report in regard to what local efforts are underway to address some of the indicators that have been presented, to look at creating a strategy to the future. Our request to you is to not let this be just a static report that sits on the shelf or is inserted in our newspaper and it's read and put aside. It is something that we should pay attention to, learn what's happening in the community, what efforts are underway, and how might I play a role in them. I'd also like to thank our team that led the tours of the Daily Tribune building during the most recent Cranberry Blossom Festival. And it was a great experience. I think people that came through were very surprised that this tour and this experience and this discussion was about much more than just a building. Not only is that building representative of our history, of the importance of civic engagement and an informed citizenry to the future, but it also is emblematic of changes in a much bigger industry, which is around information, media, and journalism. If you're interested in a tour of the building, there will be more scheduled. Please contact our office. We'll get your name on a list, and we'll get back to you with what future tour dates are available. And I would encourage you to mark this date on your calendar. September 10th is the first official call to the community to participate in the process that is going to determine what will happen with that building. Our partners Concordia from New Orleans will be here, and that will be the first date that we are going to call the community together to begin the conversation and the process of determining what the end use is of the Tribune building. The last item I'd like to tell you about today is our upcoming community picnic. That will be held on August 7th. At Red Sands Beach, beginning at 4:30. We started the picnic last year with the intent to have something open to everyone in the community. We had 1,000 people attend the first community picnic, and that really far exceeded our expectations. This year, I think we're going to have more than 1,000 people, and I hope that you're one of them, that your family and anyone else that you know that would appreciate the opportunity to just experience an old-time community picnic. If you'd like additional information, please call our office. Open to the public, free food, free entertainment, and we hope to see you there. So thank you for tuning in. I'd invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this month's show.
Hello and welcome to
Are You In? A show by your Incourage Community Foundation.
It recognizes and celebrates the many good things happening in our community.
It highlights the courageous work being done by our friends and neighbors.
We've got a lot happening on today's show.
Recently, 2 Incourage grants sponsored artist Mark Rivard. He uses skateboards as his artist canvas. Hear his message to area students about following their dreams.
It's a very cool story.
Very cool.
This month, we'll also hear from COWS to get an update on our community's vital signs. You'll learn some surprising statistics about the state of our local economy and more.
Very surprising. We know there's always a lot happening at Incourage. Get your calendar ready to mark down some very important dates.
Today, we're at the site of a beautiful state monument.
It's part of a monthly segment we call Where Are We in Southwood County?
Yes, this month's pretty easy to solve, but do you know the whole story? So we're not giving away where we are.
But we'll give you a couple of hints. You'll have to guess and stay tuned.
Okay, here comes hint number 1. This memorial park is dedicated to fallen heroes and preserving their memory.
Hint number 2. On April 16, 1996, former Governor Tommy Thompson signed into law legislation designating Wisconsin Rapids as a site of this memorial.
We'll reveal what it is and where we are later, so stay tuned.
Don't touch that dial.
Jenny, you're from Rudolph, right?
I am. And Christy, you're from Buren?
I am, but I think it's really great that we all think of ourselves as part of this larger community.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm so excited for Incourage's community picnic on Wednesday, August 7th.
Me too. I'm so excited. I heard that it's supposed to be a blast with food, fun, and family, and just all kinds of people so that everybody of all ages can have a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely something for everyone to do. And I think it starts at 4:30 and goes until 8 or whenever the water ski shows end.
Ski shows, I love the ski shows.
Yeah,
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and I've never seen one, so I'm really excited. So I know there's going to be a lot of entertainment, like inflatables and the playground for the kids, but what else will be offered?
Lots of activities happening that night. I know the butterflies will be there, as will the clowns, which is great for the kids and the adults. But there's also musical entertainment that's appropriate for all ages, and of course the free food. How can we miss the free food? It really is going to be a great opportunity for neighbors to meet neighbors, and not just people from Buren to meet people from Buren, but people from Buren to meet people from Rudolph.
Like us.
All in all, it's going to be a great opportunity for community members to come together. Neighbors and neighbors, friends and friends, family and family, all of us together celebrating Southwood County.
So join us on Wednesday, August 7th from 4:30 to 8 at Red Sands Beach on Lake Wazeecha for our community picnic.
It's going to be a great opportunity for people to come together. Free food, free entertainment, a fantastic event for friends, family, neighbors, and everyone in our community to join together and have a great time.
Recently, Incourage provided 2 grants to bring skateboard artist and motivational speaker Mark Rivard to area schools.
Using Sharpie markers, Mark creates artistic scenes and memorable images on a unique canvas, skateboards.
Mark using markers. Through his art and word, Mark inspired area students to find their own success by following their dreams and passions.
Sometimes the misfortunes can be your greatest blessings. So for me, it was a lot of that has happened in my life, and if that's a message that I can show to these kids, that you can come from nothing and create something.
Now an accomplished skateboard illustrator, Mark Rivard once had other dreams. In May, he shared his story and talents with local students.
I wanted to ski competitively. That was my dream, that was my goal, that was my whole passion and focus. And when that came to an abrupt end after a bad crash, I was going to do what I was passionate about, and that was no longer skiing. My new passion was art. I really, really liked art. I liked what it did for me. I liked the idea that I could express myself. I finally found an outlet that had a voice larger than my own.
Mark's passion is motivating and inspiring those around him through art. His experience connected with students.
It actually kind of relayed a personal message to me, as I also tore my ACL, and I can relate and say that I also had to go and find something new to do for myself. I like to sing, so now I'm doing some more singing and kind of laying off the sports for a little bit until I can come back.
I thought he was just a real down-to-earth person. He said he had 10 grand to spend and he gave it to a charity, so I think just that inspires other people to do great things.
His visit also included a workshop where students received a skateboard and created their own unique art.
Some of the ideas that they're working on behind us here are absolutely amazing. There's some incredible stuff coming out of these guys, and we're seeing some really deep stuff here. And it's kind of fun to see these kids really reach down deep and say, this is who I am and this is what I do, and be able to have a voice for that, have an avenue to really put that out there in a way that they've never done before. So
Mark was delighted to work with students in our community.
Being able to put this on it means a lot to me, not only to the students that are involved, but for myself included. It's an incredible opportunity, and it's such a rare thing that we get to do these types of things, and it's not without the support of everybody involved here, the volunteers that are helping, the students for participating. It's an amazing thing, and I think we're doing a great thing here. So it's a huge thank you to everybody in Wisconsin Rapids for having me out.
Kids, Sharpie markers, and skateboards? Mark Rivard's unique approach to art shows students that they can be successful even when their dreams change.
As long as one kid has walked away with something, sees the world maybe a little bit differently, can say, next time I find myself in a position where I don't have a direction, I know that I can search for a new one and find that. It's very easy to get down. It's very easy to get down. It's a lot harder to get up. So the more tools you have to figure that out, the better you're going to be.
That takes us to the interview portion of our show.
Last year, we welcomed COWS, Center on Wisconsin's strategy, to our show. So let's bring them back with some more COWS bells.
That's right. You've heard of think tanks? Well, COWS is a think and do tank.
Well, do tell. COWS is based at the University of Wisconsin. Now they're working with Incourage on our vital signs report.
Recently, they stopped by to talk about the latest vital signs findings and offer their thoughts on the challenges our community faces, as well as our progress.
Welcome to the interview portion of the show today. Today we're going to be talking about the third iteration of vital signs. In the studio today we have our resident data wonk, Liz Everson, our beautiful resident data wonk here. She's the project manager for the project, coordinates all the activity, all the many questions, all the many iterations of the publication. Also with us today from Center on Wisconsin Strategy, or COWS, we have Laura Dresser and Michelle Mackey. Welcome again to the studio. We're so pleased to have you back again. We were here interviewing you last year, so we're here again to look more into data.
Thanks, Rick.
Laura, maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about those that aren't familiar with COWS, what COWS does, and the type of work that you're involved with.
Sure. The Center on Wisconsin Strategy is a research center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus. We're technically part of the sociology department. But we have a very broad-ranging research and policy agenda. We call ourselves a think and do tank because we try and think about the world but also actually be useful to it and making it better for people. Some of the projects range from providing resources and ideas to secretaries of transportation all across the nation and to progressive mayors thinking about what their policies they need to pursue for a city agenda. But we've also always done a lot of work on workforce and development, economic development, and the Wisconsin economy and technical colleges and education systems in business and labor in it. And so that all comes together in our work on vital signs. And so there's a big range of work, and we encourage folks to go to cows.org and see some of that. But this really falls in the Wisconsin and workforce development part of the work.
Well, thank you for using the word encourage, of course. But can you tell us what brought you together with Incourage now? What started that relationship?
Well, the relationship began when the region became part of the a National Fund for Workforce Solutions work on industry partnerships. And this is something that folks at the Center on Wisconsin Strategy have long worked on, industry partnerships and state policies to support new training systems for workers that engage business in new ways. And that's what was going on here. They invited us to evaluate that work. And Michelle Mackey's led that work all the way along, but that just keeps, that relationship has evolved.
And I think that COWS produces what we call the State of Working Wisconsin every 2 years.
And what's the acronym for that, Michelle?
SOW. And that really looks at the economic situation of Wisconsin from the entire state perspective, with an emphasis on some of the urban areas. And this was an opportunity for us to bring some of that data to a smaller community, emphasize what indicators and measures might be important to moving things forward in the Southwood County area.
So now, with having 3 iterations of the vital signs and being involved with the last 2, are you seeing any trends, expected, unexpected, in the data?
Well, I have to say I'll take the easy one, which is the unemployment rate coming down. Yay. You know, for a community like this that is so dependent and concentrated in manufacturing, we saw a little bit of a lag with the Great Recession. So where the Great Recession, we saw unemployment tick up early in the recession. You all lagged a little bit, and it really hit here in 2010-ish, 2009-ish. But we've also seen the trend line come down, and it's now, well, when we did the report, it was at 6.6%, which I think everybody is very happy to see. Now Laura can go into a little bit more detail about why you might see that 6% number for this type of population, given the number of seniors that are here.
Yeah, I mean, unemployment rates all over the nation, younger demographics more likely to be unemployed. Once you get into your work, you stay in it longer. So communities with older populations tend to have lower unemployment rates. So that 6.6, you probably think, well, that's lower than the national rate. And we have suffered massive manufacturing losses. Part of that is just that you don't have, and this relates back to one of the other things that we've really seen year to year, the population decline. You don't have a lot of young people coming in this labor market, and that's one thing that really drives up unemployment rates. Whether the economic cycle is good or bad, unemployment is higher for younger people. You have less younger people, you have more older people, more established in their work lives. That puts your unemployment rate below the national. But doesn't mean that the work situation here is okay. It means there's some other things going on. So the population probably is the other one I'd point to. We can see that continued trend of declining population, and especially declines among your young.
Is there a way to normalize for the age demographics, or is that kind of represented in the labor force participation rate?
I mean, the labor force participation rate is one way to get at that, to think about, of the adults we have, how many are working, how many think of themselves in the labor force. That doesn't correct the age problem exactly, but it does let you see that that's also drifted down a little bit over the last couple years, which is people responding to the lack of jobs by, instead of continuing to look for jobs and maybe continuing to fail to find jobs, just saying, you know what, I'm retired. I'm not in this labor force anymore. And that's moving down a little bit as well.
Well, Liz, after last year's presentation and the data, and thanks for all your work on the project, there was the opportunity for the community to get involved, to have discussions about the data and what they'd like to see in the data and future data. Can you talk about how this current publication is different and some of the different aspects brought in because of what the community asked for?
Sure. So actually this report is 4 pages longer than last year. So that is representative of the type of information and the amount of information that's now provided in Vital Signs 2013. So we have a new section on safety. That was something that was brought up as one of our assets as a community, and so we felt that it was necessary to be able to start having a tracking mechanism on that asset. So you'll see that on the last page of the report. We also have an expanded worker and an employer section as well, and again that was based off of what we heard from people, what we heard from people at the event itself. There were many conversations with groups, churches, municipal leaders, the schools, about this information, and so from those discussions we received a lot of input on what would help them further in their work. So when you go through the report, you'll see things like commute trends. You also see comparisons to Stevens Point, Marshfield, and Wausau, which we've never had before. So it provides even more context, I think, for us when we start thinking about the data that's in here and how that can kind of frame the discussions that we're having with other community members.
So what's your take on where the publication is right now and what you've learned through the process and what might be coming in the future?
Well, we, in just talking, I hope somebody was making notes today when we were meeting with the community. We think constantly about what could be added, and I think some value came out of adding the different municipalities that are comparable to Southwood County area, and really looking at that difference and what opportunities that raises for Southwood County, both in a comparative sense, but also possibly in being able to partner with other communities or look at your region and its opportunities, both locally but more in an expansive area. So those are the kinds of high-level issues that we try and look at to make the publication a little bit more relevant.
Okay. And Liz, can you talk about, for the public that wasn't able to attend the event, can you talk about where this is available, where they could get a copy?
Sure. So the report itself will be available on our website later today. After the week of the 4th, we will be having a insert in the Daily Tribune, and so it'll go out to 14,000 households, and it'll be the entire report in newsprint fashion. So if you are on that circulation, you will be receiving that for free in the mail.
Great. And I'd like to get some perspective. It's always an opportunity when we have those outside the community come in here, especially when you're doing work nationally. You know, what do you see regarding our community that's the same or the different from your other endeavors, your other projects?
Well, one thing that's different and really striking, and really a credit to the foundation and the way the community has taken this on, is you have this report, you have this willingness to look at what's going on and to think about what that means and to try and begin using that data to inform the conversation and move in a direction for the future. You know, not every community has the resources to pull together that kind of thing, or to invest in the community discussion that needs to come out of it, or the vision. You know, the resources and the vision have to come to go together there, and that's something you all have that I think is really incredible. I think many of the challenges that we see in Wisconsin Rapids are pretty common challenges in smaller towns and kind of more rural communities throughout the country. Loss of jobs, loss of kind of the next generation to bigger cities where the four-year college degree plays better. Right. And so these challenges are not unique particularly to Wisconsin Rapids. There's, you know, pieces of it, the changes in the paper industry, all are unique here. But the broader change, the population thing, that's not different. What's different is that you're taking it on, and I think that's what's really impressive about here.
Well, we like to think of ourselves as a make and do
town.
Town as well, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Think and do.
Well, we really appreciate having you here with us, sharing the data and all the work and effort that's gone in. All of you. Thank you very much. As a token of our appreciation, we'd like to, for shining light on the data, we'd like to share with you some token flashlights.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Encourage you to keep shining the light on the data and information, and we'll keep using it to make our community better. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
There's always a long list of things happening at the Community Foundation, but here are a few highlights for this month at Incourage.
Our summer zoo events continue. These free interactive events are fun for old and young.
On July 9th, Nature's Niche with Dino features a rainforest program at 1 p.m.
Gotta love the rainforest. On July 23rd, Chris Langenfeld, aka Critter Man, will be here for a 1 p.m. show.
Critter Man combines his love of nature with music, singing, storytelling, animal puppets, and humor.
I love puppets.
Wow, right up your alley.
Both of these events are held at Helen's Zoo House at the Wisconsin Rapids Zoo. Thanks to Helen Mead for making these programs possible through her fund at Incourage.
And we're still scheduling Tribune building tours. We want your input on how you think that building should be used.
Contact us here at Incourage to request a tour schedule.
And mark your calendar for Wednesday, August 7th. It's our community picnic at Red Sands Park at Lake Wazeecha.
We'll have free local food and beverages, music, and family fun.
Great food, great friends, great fun. We'll see you August 7th at the community picnic.
Every month we're working on many projects, but that's what's happening this month at Incourage. Okay, we're back and it's time to find out where are we in Southwood County?
1994, 7 area fire service members set out to create a park for a memorial that honored firefighting heroes from across Wisconsin.
They placed the utmost importance on a peaceful, scenic setting.
The Wisconsin State Firefighters Memorial is certainly a beautiful place with a wonderful story. Here's retired firefighter Tom Anderson to tell us more.
The Wisconsin State Firefighters Memorial is located in Wisconsin Rapids on the west side, It's along 2nd Avenue between Port Edwards and Wisconsin Rapids along 54 West. The mission of the Wisconsin State Firefighters Memorial, even though the name Memorial is in the name, we remember all firefighters every day, past, present, and future firefighters that'll ever serve in the state of Wisconsin, with special emphasis on those who have died in the line of duty.
A member of the original planning committee that brought the Firefighters Memorial to Wisconsin Rapids, Tom talked about the purpose behind the memorial's design.
The idea was to really put it into a park because that meant community. And firefighters are, whether you're a volunteer, career, paid on call, they're always part of your community. So we chose a park setting. We wanted people to be invited into the memorial park itself, use it for what it is, a park, and then at the same time when you walk up to the memorial wall, you actually realize what you're there for.
As the memorial honors firefighters, especially those who have fallen, it also provides healing for those who remain.
When we had the final alarm procession, I remember this young lady, and she just lost her husband in the line of duty. And the family members were here. And I think it was quite overwhelming for her during the ceremony. I mean, you hand a flag to her and a rose, and the name is read. But that night when we had the final alarm procession through the streets, I stood back and I just wanted to watch everything. And I looked up toward the memorial because there was just a little bit of light onto it. Here stood that widow with a couple of her children, and she was touching the name. That's when I knew that's what it's all about.
Time, talent, and treasure are all appreciated when it comes to supporting this memorial. Anyone is welcome to help.
You don't have to be a firefighter. If you want to donate some of your time to come over here and you feel like cutting the grass or weeding or helping out maintain this, what can I do type of thing, you can contact me personally. This, the Firefighters Memorial doesn't receive any tax money. It's purely donation run. Just go to Wisconsin State Firefighters Memorial on the internet. You'll find us. Our P.O. Box is 248, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. We'd appreciate any help.
And this year, they'll introduce a new fundraiser in October.
The first week in October of every year, we're going to sell Memorial Mums. The Memorial Mum is going to be purple with the white stem. And then it'll have a tag on there that says, I support the Wisconsin State Firefighters Memorial. All gave some, but some gave all.
From its memorial wall to the firehouse to the park setting, the memorial's design and beauty leave a lasting impression on all those who visit.
I've had people come from all around the country, all around the state, all around the world to this site, and when I've been here or they call me and they say what a beautiful memorial, it's one of the most beautiful they've seen in the United States. So that's quite a statement. So, and we're proud of that.
Well, that's it for today's show. We appreciate you taking time to get the inside scoop about your community and the work of Incourage Community Foundation.
As always, a huge thanks to River Cities Community Access for hosting us.
Tune in next month for another edition of Are You In?